Hey there people, I'm Kishan and in this video we are going to create this awesome Coinbase landing page using React.js and style components with some advanced CSS topics. So without wasting any further time, let's get started. And also before starting, please like this video so this video reaches to maximum people and it helps my channel to grow further. So now let me give you a demo of it. So this is our navbar and this is the links. When we hover over the links, it changes colors. Then we have this buttons. Then this is the home section. So for the buttons, we have created an button component which is used all over the website. Then we have this pricing section. Then we have this about us section. Then we have this trading section. Then we have this sign up section. Then we have this roadmap section. Okay, so this section is also scrollable. So let me show you that. Now this is the newsletter section and this is the footer section and this is the scroll to top. We are also gonna style this scroll bar. Now this template is also responsive. Let me show you that in the mobile mode. So this is the mobile mode. So as you can see that in the mobile mode the layout changes accordingly. I'll switch this. Yeah, it's looking great now. And we have this responsive navbar here. So this pricing section is also scrollable. Now we have this about us section. We have the services section, the sign up section, the roadmap section. So you can see that the roadmap section changes its layout according to the device size. Now we have this newsletter section and at the end we have this footer section, and the scroll to top also works for the mobile layout. So yes, this is it. So without wasting any further time, let's get started. And before moving further, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. So now let's set up our React application. I'll open a new terminal from here and I will write npx create react app at latest and the name of our React application, which is Coinbase landing website. Hit enter. This will set up our React application with the dependencies. These may take time depending upon your network connection, so I am skipping to that part. So our React application has been successfully set up. You can see that in this folder. So I'll move over to that folder, cd Coinbase landing website, and in here we need two extra dependencies, which is style components for styling and react icons for the icons. Style components and react icons. Hit enter to install those dependency. Now let's move over to the source and we will delete this app.css, test, logo.svg, report web vitals and setup tests. Delete. Also the logo.svg, delete. And inside index.js we are gonna remove this report web vitals import, and from the end the function call, hit save. Inside app.js we'll remove all of these and we'll write rfc to create the component. Inside index.css we are gonna remove this code, and above we'll have a star selector and we'll give it a margin of 0. padding of 0 and a box sizing of border box. That's it. And we will also select HTML and give it a scroll behavior of smooth. I think, yeah, smooth it is. Now what else? Yeah, we also have to remove this margin. That's it. Let's start our React application. Yarn start. And yes, our application is working successfully. We have this app component here. So let's move over to VS Code. Let's close this terminal. And now I will copy the colors and the asset folder. You can find those from the GitHub link given in the description. I'll pause the video. So I have copied these colors. You can pause the video and copy those, or copy it from the GitHub link given in the description. And I have also have this assets folder here which have our images. You can also find this from the GitHub link. So yeah, that's it. Our base setup is complete. So let's move on to create the navbar now. So now let's create the navbar. So I'll create a new folder named as components, and inside here I will create a component name as navbar.jsx, and I will also create a new component named as button.jsx, rfc. Let's import that into the app.js. Inside here we'll import navbar. So after this, inside the navbar, let's move further. We have the navbar here. Yeah. Now first I will import the import styled from styled components as C. That's it. Now let's create const nav is equals to styled dot nav. Replace this with our style component nav. That's it. Now let's create a variable links, which is an array of all the links. The first is home, then there's a dashboard. After that we have learn. After that we have FAQ, and then we have contact. Then we will be having about. That's it. Now after the links we'll first import our no, we don't need that. We'll just move over to here and we'll have a brand. Inside the brand we'll have an h2 which will have Coinbase. Then after that we'll have an toggle div. This would be empty as of now. Then after that we will have a links div. Links. Inside the links we'll have ul. Inside the ul we'll use links dot map, and we'll get the link. Then we'll just return the li with an a of href hyphen, and this would be the link here. And we will also pass an key here as the link. You can also pass the index. It's not a good practice to pass the index, but for this template it's okay. Then after this div we'll have the auth. Inside the auth we'll have the button, and we'll give it the text of sign in. and we'll give it a prop of subdued button, and I will copy this, paste it. This is gonna be sign up, and we'll remove this subdued button prop. We haven't created this button component yet. We have to create it first. Now here, yeah, we have our markup. So I'll just design the navbar first, then the buttons. So for the navbar, let's first create the basic styles, then we'll create the reusable styles. So first I'll give it a margin, and the margin would be 3 rem and 5 rem. After that I'll select the brand, select H2, give it a font size of 2.5 rem. Then I'll select the toggle div and give it a display none. We'll switch it back to display block whenever we hit the responsive mode. Then links, UL, font weight, this is gonna be bolder. Inside the UL, LI, this is gonna have cursor pointer. Let's select the ampersand first of type, and this is gonna be having an opacity of 1, and we'll select the A again and give it an opacity of 0.7. After this we'll give it a transition, and this is going to be 0.5 seconds ease in out. And whenever we hover over this, we'll give it an opacity of initial, opacity initial, that's it. So yeah, now let's have some reusable styles inside the index.css. So what are we gonna do? First let's give the body a color. So at the end here I'll select the body and give it a background color of where this is gonna be, I think, background. That's it, we have the background. Now let's select the color and give it a where this is primary. Yeah, we have the primary color. Now let's select UL, LI, cursor pointer. After that we'll select nav and section. We don't have the section yet, but we'll just select it and give it a margin of 0 and 5 rem, and a border bottom, not border, we'll give it a margin bottom of 8 rem. Now we'll also have a blue as color of where text blue, and the subdue would have an opacity of 0.7. That's it. And now we'll select UL and give it a list style type of none. We have removed this list style type. Now let's select the A and give it a color of where primary, and let's remove the text decoration, the line, text decoration none. That's it. Now let's have the flex container as display flex, and we'll also have the column property, column flex direction column. Then we'll select A center. We'll have a class of A center which will have align item center, and we'll have a class of A start which will have align items flex start. Then we'll have an J center which will have justify content as center, and we'll have an J between which will have justify content between. we will have space between. That's it. Now what do we need? Now let's define some gaps. So we'll have gap of 4 rem, then we'll have gap 1 which will have gap of 1 rem, then before this gap 1 we'll also define gap half which will have gap of 0.5 rem, then we'll have gap 2 which will have gap of 2 rem, after this we'll have text align of center, text align, no, we'll have just have the text center, so this is gonna be text align center. Yeah, that's it for now. We don't need more styles. We'll have the more afterwards. So let's head over to Navbar and we'll just use those styles, the classes here. So first inside the nav here, we'll give it a class name and we'll give it a flex, save, then we'll give it a j between, and we'll give it a center. Yeah, that's it. So this is a whole lot easier. Then after this, inside the links, inside the UL we'll have class name and we'll give it a flex and a gap of 2. That's it. This is looking whole much prettier. And inside the buttons we'll give it a flex here as well, flex and a gap of 1. That's it. Now let's style these buttons. Head over to buttons.jsx and inside here what should we do? Buttons, this is not buttons, we need to head over to button.jsx. Yeah, this one. First we'll import the styled, import styled from style components. Now let's create a div is equals to styled dot div and we'll replace this with the div. Now we'll have some props which is text, icon. Initially the icon would be false, then we'll have subdued button and initially this is gonna be false. Now inside the button here we'll check if there is an icon, then we need this one button, and inside the button we'll give it the text and an icon. Text, okay, this is text not text. Text, what error do we have? Okay, we also need to give the colon and another button, and this is just gonna have the text. That's it. So we have our buttons. Now let's style these further. So inside the div here, first I'll give it a class name of, let me switch this to this side, flex j center, a center. Then inside the button here I'll give it a class name, template string, and we'll give it a flex, a center, j center, gap 1, and we'll check if this is the subdued button. If it is subdued button, then we'll provide it a subdued btn class, or else we don't need to give anything. This is gonna be in small, and let me copy this and I'm gonna paste it here. We are gonna remove this initial classes. We just need this. That's it. Now let's style these buttons. So first in here I'll select the subdued button and give it a background color. The background color is gonna be where subdue button. The color has been changed here. Now let's select the button and we provided a padding of 0.7 rem and a 1.3 rem. After that we'll give it a background color of where blue, then we'll give it a color of white, then we'll give it a border of none, then we'll give it a border radius of 0.5 rem. We'll also give it a font size of 1.1 rem and we'll just give it a cursor of pointer. That's it. So our buttons are also styled and our navbar is complete. So we have many reusable styles inside the index.css and there are more to come. So we are gonna use throughout this template, and the template is gonna be a whole lot easier by using these styles. So now let's create the home section. So now before moving further, we'll head over to index.css here and add some more styles. H1, we'll give it a font size of 2 rem. Then we'll select H2, give it a font, not font family, font size of 2 rem, not 2 rem. Yeah, this is gonna be 2 rem and this is gonna be 4 rem, I think. Yeah, that's it. After H2, we'll select the P, give it a font size. The font size would be 1.2 rem. Then we'll give it a word spacing and this is gonna be 0.2 rem. This is the spaces between two words. Then we'll give it a line height. This is the height between two lines, 1.8 rem. And the last class we're gonna add is half width. This is gonna give it a height of 80 viewport height, not 70. This is gonna be 80. And while we are here, let's style the scroll bar as well. We'll give it a WebKit scroll bar and width of 0.5 rem and a background color of where background. Then we'll select WebKit scroll bar thumb and we'll give it a background color of where blue. That's it. So these are the styles we are gonna need for the home section. Now let's create the home component, home.jsx, RFC, and import that inside the app component here, home. Now what we are gonna do next is let's move over to home.jsx first. Import styled, import styled from style components. Now we'll create a section, const section is equals to styled dot section, and we'll replace this with the section. Now here at the top, first we'll import an icon, import FA. Let's just write the from React icons first, React icons FA, and this is FA chevron circle right. That's it. Now let's import an image. Import home from assets, and this is going to be home.png. Let's copy this, paste it, and this is going to be badge percent. In here the name would be badge dash percent. That's it. Now let's style this and have this. I'll just give it a class name here, class name of flex j center a center, and a gap, and the inside the home will have the content flex column and a gap of 2. Inside that we'll have an subtitle. Inside the subtitle we'll have h3 dot flex dot a center gap of 1 and blue class. That's it. And the text would be span. Therefore the span would have an image of source as batch percent, and after this span we'll write investment made easy. Hit enter. That's it. We have the investment made easy here. Now after this div we'll have an title div, title and h1. Let's copy the h1 text from here, paste, and let's copy this text from here. After the h1 we'll have the description. Inside we'll have p dot subdue content. That's it. And after this div we'll have buttons with a flex and a gap of 1. Inside that we'll have button, text is try now, and we'll also provide an icon as in prop. This is gonna be FA chevron circle right. The button is here. You can see that is very much easy for if we have components defined. Button, and the text is gonna be how it works, and this is gonna be the subdued button. So we are gonna pass the subdued button prop. That's it. So that's done. And after this div we'll have an image. Inside that we'll have an image. The source would be home, and we'll give it the alternative text of home, and the class name would be half width. That's it. So yeah, so our home section is complete, and you can see that it is very easier if we have the component setup and the reusable styles. We didn't need to have write any styles inside in the style components. So this is perfect. So now after this we'll have this pricing. So let's do that. So now for the daily prices component, I have already created the component and imported the assets that we need, and I have created this data array. You can copy this. And I have already imported this daily prices into the home.jsx. Now let's style this further. So this section is gonna have a class name of flex, a gap of 2 and a column. Then inside the section we'll have a container. Inside the container we'll have an header and we'll give it a class name of subdue. We'll have span. We'll have, I think, 6 spans. So first span will have hyphen, then we'll have name, then we will have price, then we'll have change, then we will have market cap, and at the end we will have chart. That's it. Now after this div we'll have another div with a data class name flex, column and a gap of 1. That's it. Now we'll map the data dot map, and inside here will be structure name, image, short, price, change, market cap and the chart, and we will also need the index. Now let's return row and a center, a dash center, and we'll also pass in key here of price. Inside this we'll first have span, this would be index plus 1. After this div we'll have name with a flex, a gap of 1 and a center. Inside this we'll have an span with a class name of image. Inside the image we'll have image tag. This would be image and the attribute text would be name. After this span tag we'll have another span with a name. After this we'll again have another span and this would be short, and we also have to provide class name. This would be short and subdue. Then after this we'll close this div and we'll have price. Then after this we'll have another span. Inside this we'll have change, and for the class name we'll do that afterwards. Then after this we'll have market cap and span dot chart. Inside that we'll have an image. The source would be chart and attribute text would be chart. Now for the change here we'll have an class, not class, a function as get price change class name. So we'll define it here, get price change class name. This would return the class name of colors based upon the plus or minus of this price change. This one here we don't have any change, so we'll return nothing. Here we have minus, so we'll return red, and for the plus we'll return the green. So let's have the logic for that. We'll have change num is equals to change of 0. Then if change num triple equals to the addition sign, then we will return green because it is increase, else if change num triple equals to minus, then we will return red, or else will return just return, nothing else. Now inside the change here we'll have class name, and we'll call our get price change class name. We'll pass the change here. That's it. Now let's move on to here. We have everything. Now let's style this. So at the end here, let me shrink this, Control B. Let me shrink this more. Background color would be where, not where, I think I'll just pass ff 10 and a border radius of 1 rem. Then I'll select the header, give it a border bottom, and this would be 1px solid. This would again ff 42. Did we make a mistake? ff, yeah, it's correct now. Padding bottom, and this would be 1 rem. Then padding, this would be 2 rem. I think we don't need to give padding bottom because padding covers it all. So we'll remove the padding bottom. Then did we pass an header here? HEADER header. That's it. You can see that it's here. Now let's select the header, then the data, and inside the data we need the row, and we'll give it a display of grid, a grid template columns of 0.5 fr, 2 fr, 1 fr, 1 fr, 1 fr, and at the end for the chart we'll have 0.5 fr. That's it. Most of it is styled now. Now after this we'll select the data, give it a padding. This would be 0, 2 rem, 2 rem, and 2 rem. Now let's select row. I think we should give it an 2 rem all. Just give it a 1 rem here. Yeah, that's it. It's looking great. So now inside the row for the name, I think no, nothing is needed here. Yeah, we'll just remove this row, and after this data we'll select span. No, nothing is needed. We just need to give the colors now. Green color where green, and for the red color where red. That's it. So this is styled and this is complete now. So our pricing is also complete. Now we have this about us section. Let's do that. About us. Let's create a new component. About us dot jsx rfc inside the app.js. After here about us, and inside the about us we'll import an image. Import styled from style components. Then we'll also need the chevron circle, right? So let's grab it from home. This import about us, paste inside the home. Let's copy an image import also home, and this is gonna be about. That's it. Now let's have the style const section is equals to styled dot section, and we'll replace this section inside about us. Let's have everything, and we'll also give it a class name here, class name of flex, a center and a gap. And I will also shrink this so you can see in real time what is being changed. Gap, then we'll select the content, give it a flex, a column and a gap. Inside that we'll have the title container. This is title hyphen container, then flex, column, j center, a center and a gap of 1. That's it. Now subtitle and subdue h3 about us, and after this we'll have title h2, and the title text would be this, copy paste. And after this we'll close the title container and we'll have again a flex and a gap. We'll have info, flex, column, gap, a start and j center. Hit enter, and in here we'll have p with subdue into 2. So this is into 2, and the first text is this, control V, and the other is this, paste, save. That's it. And after this P we'll have the button, and inside the button we'll give it a text of start earning. Will also provide an icon of FA chevron circle right. That's it. Everything is here. Now all that is left is to give it an image. After this button we'll end this div, and we'll have another div of image. Inside it we'll have image. This image would be about. That's it. And we'll also give it a class name of half width, class name half width. That's it. And this is also styled and complete. So that's it. We don't have to write any more styles for this. So now after this we'll have this trading with us section, which is services section. So let's do that. So now I have already created this service component and imported the assets and created this service data array. So you can copy this, and I have already imported this inside the app.js. So let's create the markup for this. I will shrink the screen again, not this one, yeah, this one. Shrink the screen, Ctrl B. Let's give it a class name, and this is gonna be flex, column, j center, a center and a gap. This is gonna be gap, and after this we'll have a div named as title container, then flex, column, gap of 1. That's it. And inside this title, text center, the text would be h2 start your trading with us. This is gonna be here at the end. h2, after h2 we'll have subtitle, text center, subdue, h3. Let's copy the text of h3 from here, paste, and after this div we'll have services div, services, flex, j center, a center, and a gap, a center and a gap. After this gap we'll map the services data, services data dot map, will destructure image, title, description, why is it not coming, description, yeah, description, and then we will have the arrow function return, and we'll return the JSX with service, text center, flex, column, and a gap of 1. Then we'll have key as title. After that we'll have image, inside that we'll have image, inside the image source would be image, this would be service, and after this we can see that images are here. After this we'll have the title, so this is going to be h3.title, we'll have the title here. After that we'll have p.description, and this is going to have the subdue class, and this is going to have a description. That's it. So yeah, that's it, and most of this is styled. We don't need to do anything more. Let's see here. I think we need to decrease the font size, and that's it. So let's do that. So we'll select the services, padding of 0.0 and 5 rem, then we'll give it a gap of 10 rem, then we'll select the service, title, and a font size of 1.5 rem, that increases it, and the description would be having a font size of 1 rem. I think we will decrease it, and let's also remove the line height, decrease the line height, which is 1.2 rem, and yeah, that's it. This is style and this is perfect. So now after this we'll have this sign up, and we don't have an image here. Let's fix that. So let's head over here, and I will create a new component named as signup.jsx rfc. Let's import that inside the signup.jsx here, sign up, and what we will do inside the sign up, let me see. Yeah, so I'll head over to services, I'll grab one of these with the style components, and inside the sign up I will paste it here. Let's create a const section is equals to style dot section, and we'll replace this with section, and this is gonna be the card, and we'll have another one. This is gonna be sign up background, that's it. And inside the sign up we'll remove this, we'll give it a class name of flex, gap, and j between. Let me shrink this. Let's error, and inside this here we'll have a div with content, text center, inside that h2, sign up without any bank account linking and card. And after this we will have an image div, image. Inside that image, source would be card, this would be card. That's it, the image should be here. And now let's have an background image here, background image, and this is gonna be URL, and we'll have the dollar and brackets. This is sign up background. And after this, background size, this is contain. And after that we'll give it a margin of 0, margin bottom of 8 rem, and max width of 100 viewport width. Then we'll give it an overflow of hidden. After that, let's select the content. Nothing snippet, content. Then padding of 8 rem, and then h2 of font size. This would be 2.4 rem. Now let's select the image and the height of 100%. That's it. So this is style and this is looking great. So our sign up section is also complete. Now we'll have this roadmap section. So let's do that. Roadmap. Now for the roadmap component, I have already created the component and imported the files that we need. And this is the data array. You can just copy this. And now let's move further. I've also imported this into the app.js. Now we are gonna give this a flex and a column and a gap. Let me shrink the window a little bit more. That's it. After this, we'll give it a title container plus we'll give it a text center class. Inside that we'll have an subtitle and an subdiv which says h3 roadmap. After that, let's refresh this. I think I haven't imported this into app.js. Yeah, it's not been imported. Roadmap. Head over to roadmap. This is here. After this h3, I'm gonna have a title div. Inside that and h2, and that is going to be copied from here. Now what next? Yes, after this div we'll have a roadmap div with a flex and a gap. This is going to be the gap. Inside this I'll just map the data dot map, and I'll destructure the date, name, description, icon, and we will also need the index, and return a div with map, flex, column, gap 1, and a start. That's it. And inside of here we'll first have icon, flex, j center, a center. Inside of here we'll have the icon. We have the icons here. Now after this we'll have an h3 dot date. Inside that we'll have date. Then we'll have h3 dot class name would be name, and this would be name. After the name we'll have p dot description, dot subdue, which have description. That's it. Now all that is left is to style this and make it look much better. We are gonna make this section scrollable, and for that let's do our magic here. So first we'll select the road map. Inside here we'll give it an overflow x of scroll, then we are gonna give it an overflow of y as hidden, then we'll give it a padding bottom of 4rem, and let's select the map, give it a min width of 380 pixels. Yeah, I think 300 pixels would be better. That's it. This section is scrollable. Now we'll fix this afterwards. We need this the arrow from here. So for that, first we'll give it a position of relative. After that, we'll select the after pseudo class and give it a content of space. Then we'll give it a position of absolute, and we'll give it a top of 1.3 rem. Then we'll give it a left of 1 rem. Then I think we'll also give it a height of 100% and a width of 120%, and we'll give it a z index of -1. Also we'll give it a border top of 3 pixels, yeah, 2 pixels, 3 pixels, solid white. That's it, we have this here. Now let's do some more magic. We'll give it an opacity of 0.5, and after this we'll select the icon. After this icon, give it a background color of where blue, no blue. We'll have a roadmap icon color. This is road map, and now we'll give it a padding of 0.5 rem and a border radius of 100%. Yeah, this is looking much better. Now let's select the SVG and give it a font size of 2 rem to increase the size of SVG. 2 rem, yeah, this is much better and it is looking great. Now we just have to style the scroll bar. We are going to make this much smaller. So for that, I will go to this roadmap here and I'll select the pseudo selective WebKit scroll bar. We just need 2 of this, and I will give it a height of 1 pixel. That's it. This is the scroll bar. It is scrollable, and our roadmap section is complete. Now we are gonna have the newsletter section. So let's head over to VS Code and do that. newsletter.jsx rfc import styled from style components const section is equals to styled dot section, and we are gonna replace this with section. Head over to app.js, and this is gonna be newsletter. Head over to here and let's check if our newsletter is here. Yeah, it is. Now what we are gonna do is first head over to newsletter, and we are gonna import an icon from React Icons AI, This is gonna be AI outline mail, AI outline mail, this one. And after that, we don't need any icons or anything. We'll just give this a class name of flex, justify content space between, a center, gap, and this is gonna be a title container with flex, a column, and a gap of 1. Inside of here we'll have h2 newsletter, and we are gonna have an h3, and the content would be copied from here. After this, we'll have a newsletter div, newsletter with flex, j center, a center, and a gap of 2. Inside of here we'll have input container, flex, j center, a center, and a gap of 1. Inside of here, first we'll have the AI outline mail, then we'll have the input, type as text, the placeholder would be enter your email address, and after this we'll have the button which says text as subscribe. That's it, everything is here. Now just have to style this. Let me shrink this side. First we'll give it a margin of 0 and a margin bottom of 8 rem. Then we'll give it a background color of where dark blue, dark background, I think. Yeah, dark background. Then we'll give it a padding of 8 rem. Now we'll select the newsletter. Inside of newsletter we have input container. Inside input container, first we'll give it a background color of where input background. Let me switch this to this side. Input background. I think this is not working. Give it a display of none. This is working. Background color. Then we'll give it a padding of 1 rem. Then we'll give it a padding right of 8 rem, and we'll give it a border radius of 1.3 rem, not 1.3 rem, 0.5 rem, and we'll give it a font size of 1.3 rem, and we'll give it a color of white. Now let's select the input, background color transparent, then border of none, and font size of 1.2 rem, color of white, this is color. After that, ampersand focus, we don't need the outline when it is focused, outline none. That's it. So yeah, our newsletter section is also complete. Now we just have this footer section, so let's do that. Now I have already created this footer component, so I'll basically explain this. So this is the basic React stuff imported. Then we have this company links array this is the this links. Then we have learn links, this is this, and this is again the company links. Now we have this icons, social icons array, these are these icons. Now we have the basic HTML markup. We map the social icons, then we map the company links, same for the learn links and again the company links. Then we have the spaceman, this one, and we have the lower footer, this one. Now in the styles there is nothing, we divided the section to upper footer and lower footer. This is the upper footer and this is the lower footer. In here everything is just same, we gave the grid, and grid is having 4 columns, 1 2 3 4, and this is not a column, we gave this a position of absolute. So here we define the position relative, and to the spaceman give a position absolute, and the right of 0 rem and top minus 23 rem, you can see that here. And then we have the media query, it's nothing. Now I have already created this scroll to top also, so for that there is nothing, this is basic React stuff. Now we added a state here and an event listener on scroll, so whenever we scroll the page, this event listener is gonna call and it will check if the page height is page scroll height is greater than 100, then we want this state to be true, or else we are gonna have this state as false. And whenever this is true, here we'll give it a class name of block. Whenever this is true, we'll give it a block, and if it is not true, then we are gonna give it a none to this icon. Now for the none, we have given it an opacity of 0 and visibility of hidden, while for the block we have this styles, and we also gave it a media query here. So yeah, that's basically it. And I also made this template responsive, so let me show you that. For the navbar, we'll head over to navbar. So the changes that I made is I imported these 2 icons and a use state here. Then after the links, I created an state variable is nav open or is nav not open for this. Then we have selected the HTML and added an event listener on this. So whenever we click on entire page, we'll set the nav to false. So whenever we click anything in here, the nav will close. So that is that code. Now we'll give it a state to the style components if nav state is open or close. Then we have this toggle in here, we gave the MD close and hamburger menu icon. Whenever we click MD close, we want to close the navbar, and hamburger menu opens it. Then here we gave it a dynamic class name. If the navbar is open, we'll give it a show or then none. Then here we give it a media query. This is very simple stuff. That's it now. And for the home component, we gave this media query, you can copy it. Then we have the daily prices, and we made the daily prices scrollable. So this is that. We first gave it a max width of 90 viewport width, so this is the 90 viewport width. Then we gave the container a width of 780 pixels, so, and we also gave it an overflow auto, so it would be scrollable. And after that we will have the about us. There was nothing more to do here, we just give it a text align of center. Then we will be having the services. We gave it a padding of 2 rem and gap of 3 rem. After that we'll have sign up. This is the media query for that. After sign up, we have the roadmap. This is the media query for the roadmap. Then we will be having the newsletter, I think, yeah. So for newsletter, this is the media query. And then we will be having footer. You already seen that, but this is the media query for the footer. So that's it for this video. If you have any doubts, please ask me that in comment section, and please do like this video and subscribe to the channel.